How strong is base Goku in the Buu Saga? Now you can tell this is a controversial topic because people are like, well, isn't it obvious he is, or isn't it obvious he isn't? Now let's talk about where the confusion is mainly coming from. So in Battle of the Gods, Beerus met Son Goku and taps him to analyze his abilities or powers, and he says, I don't think you can beat Frieza. But then you have quotes in the Buu Saga about Vegeta being able to basically solo the tournament in his base form and stuff like that. There's a lot of contradictions between the two opposing sides, and that's why people argue about it so heavily. So I guess first, let's answer the question, is it even possible? Now, if you look at Goku's character, Goku has always been a warrior that always aspires to greater heights. He always trains and wants to be the strongest and the best fighter he can be. Throughout the series, especially in Dragon Ball Z, we've seen exponential power growth within him. But in Dragon Ball Z, he really wants to become as strong as he can be. Now, a good example of this is notice how from the Saiyan Saga up until Frieza is only like Goku training for 6 days. He trained for 6 days, and in those 6 days, he surpassed everyone of his race. Every single member of his race in history, except for the legendary Super Saiyan and gods, obviously. But every normal Saiyan, he surpassed them within just 6 days. And then from there, he was able to contend with Final Form Frieza after receiving his Sengai. This is all within a 6-day period, and he goes from being less than half of Vegeta to contending with Final Form Frieza. This is an insane exponential increase. And then from there, we know that the Zenkai boost gets smaller and smaller, but Goku is still pushing himself to absolute limit. And then from there, you have Goku training on 𝗪𝗏 to the point where he could fight a Frieza that is stronger than ever, and his father King Cold. And he could literally beat them with just a finger, if we take Trunks' statement about the same moves he used on Goku, turning Frieza into cold cuts. Then there's these artificial androids that can kill Super Saiyans like they're nothing. Even Gohan, who has this ultimate potential, even when he trained, was no match for the androids. This is the future that Goku was met with, so he trained for 3 years straight to surpass the other Super Saiyans. Now he's even stronger than his future Super Saiyan counterpart. Soon after, Cell appears, who absorbs these more powerful androids that could one-shot 3-year trained Super Saiyans. Goku then starts training for a year, and now he can literally one-shot these androids, these same androids. You understand where I'm going with this? Goku has always exponentially got stronger throughout the series. Now imagine Goku going through training even more intense than the hyperbolic time chamber for 7 years straight. And that's what you have with the Buu Saga. So is it possible? Absolutely. Now let's touch up on some arguments for the reasons why they say Goku isn't stronger than Frieza in his base form, on the Buu Saga of course. The evidence that supports Goku is not at Frieza's level is mainly the Beerus poking at him thing. That's the main argument. Now let me go into detail. Beerus pokes at him and says he's not as strong as Frieza, and then Goku goes Super Saiyan. And he's like, I still don't think you're as strong as Frieza, or maybe you are. Now people are saying that because Beerus was unsure that suppressed Super Saiyan Goku couldn't do it, that they think that suppressed Super Saiyan is always stronger than someone at their base form at full power. They think that if you're a Super Saiyan, you're always stronger than your base form, even if you're suppressed. Now this is a really bad logical fallacy, and I'm going to explain why. Remember when Goku was a Super Saiyan Blue and a laser shot through his chest? That Goku was a Super Saiyan Blue weaker than his base form Goku. That's right, Goku suppressed himself below his base form in this area. Because base Goku could have handled that laser like he handled Frieza's death beams all that time ago, in just his base form. So yes, it is possible a Super Saiyan is able to suppress yourself below your normal form, especially as a Master Super Saiyan. Yes, as a Master Super Saiyan, you have complete control over your power. It's basically like a natural form. So yes, it's very likely he was just suppressing himself. Now, Beerus tapping Goku and saying what he said might have just been Beerus egging him on, as Beerus is actually known to be a gaslighter and a manipulator, especially when it comes to getting the best out of his opponent. He does this very same thing to Goku later when he says he's going to destroy the Earth multiple times to get Goku to fight him at his best. He might have even done the same thing to Vegeta as we see him slap Bulma and somehow she just gets so fine and unharmed. It's possible he held back significantly just to push Vegeta, since just a simple flick from Beerus earlier had Buu Saga Goku near death. Beerus even takes it a step further in lying to Goku about him being his second strongest foe, setting himself up for the Monaka arc later to have Goku and Vegeta push themselves further for the Universe 6 and 7 tournament. Do you guys remember 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠? Well, if you do, you probably remember that when he scanned Goku, 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 said, wow, you're really weak. This is the same 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 being the guy that Raditz thinks is a joke. Goku suppressed himself all the time. 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 also says Avocado over here is as strong as Frieza. And then you know what happened? Goku and Vegeta hear the word Frieza and they laugh. And throw Goten and Trunks in there, that they can destroy Frieza. And the interesting thing is that Goten and Trunks fight Avocado in their base forms and actually destroy them. Now mind you, it's impossible for 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 to know how strong full power Frieza is since he was never shown it since Namek. However, Goku definitely was thinking of full power Frieza even if 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 was talking about first form Frieza from way back when. And the reason I say this is because Goku only knows final form Frieza. Though he could sense Frieza getting stronger in the hyperbolic time chamber, he wasn't there to witness Frieza's transformations per se. His introduction to Frieza is his final form, then later he sees full power. So when people mention Frieza, this is probably the version of him Goku refers to in his mind. And when they heard the term Frieza, at the very least, Goku most likely was thinking of full power Frieza when they were just thinking that Goten and Trunks can handle them. And remember, Yo-Yo's son Goku and his friends return is canon, and it was made canon by the Dragon Ball Super anime when they mentioned 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠. Now, let's look at the evidence supporting he is stronger than Frieza. Did you know that Piccolo in the Android Saga is stronger than Super Saiyan Goku on planet Namek? And this is before he even fuses with Kami. After training for 3 years against base and possibly Super Saiyan Goku, Piccolo was much confident in his abilities that he could wipe out the artificial humans. Android 19 and 20 are no doubt much stronger than Frieza, and Piccolo could solo them easy. You also have the other shaky argument of Vegeta stating that he could beat everyone in the World Tournament, that which would include Android 18 and Kami Piccolo. Now, can Vegeta beat Kami Piccolo in his base form? Probably not, but it's a possibility. Now, the thing with Vegeta is that he's very egotistical, which is why I say that this is shaky evidence, probably at best. I can't really be 100% taken as fact, since Vegeta is the kind of guy to be conceited. Now you have situations with Goku versus 𝗕𝗏 and Vegeta versus 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠, where Supreme Kai noted the Z Fighters could take on Frieza, but he wasn't yet sure. He was not sure they could take on 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 and 𝗕𝗏, right? He got really nervous and suggested that they should team up at least. Vegeta destroyed 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠, and Goku was able to fight with 𝗕𝗏 in his base form. I actually think that base Goku was stronger than 𝗕𝗏. He just wanted to ruin 𝗕𝗏's self-confidence with the darkness by lighting it up with Super Saiyan. As we saw, Goku was able to sense his energy and still whoop on him. It's possible that 𝗕𝗏 and 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 may very well be above Frieza's level. I'm going to argue 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 might not be, but 𝗕𝗏 is definitely above Namek Super Saiyan Goku level, since he didn't completely fold against Master Super Saiyan Goku 7 years after the Cell games. He was even able to shove over him by absorbing his power. That's insane levels of force, that's way above Namek Frieza. He shouldn't be able to make Master Super Saiyan Goku flinch, let alone shove him over like that. Another supporting piece of evidence comes from the filler, so if you're not really into filler stuff in Dragon Ball, you can go ahead and discard this. But basically, Pikkon was able to one-shot Frieza, like completely split blitz him and one-shot him, but not only Frieza, his father as well. Now, the interesting thing about this same Pikkon is that base Goku, after training in the other world for a little bit, actually surpassed him. That's right, base Goku overpowered Pikkon, who one-shot King Cold and Frieza. Now that means that Goku could have done the same exact thing Pikkon did, one-shot Goku and Frieza as well. That also means he could kick Cell away back into the lake and send him into his cage. Now Cell most likely was suppressed during this time, but still, base Goku kicking away perfect Cell is quite a feat, even if he's suppressed. Now last but not least, you have Gohan is stronger than 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠. The 𝗕𝗏 itself stated that Gohan, if he was serious, would most likely beat 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠. Now this is base Gohan, mind you. He's able to compete with 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠, the same 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠 that could one-shot Frieza in his base form. Now just let that sink in. The 𝗕𝗏 itself is implying that base Gohan is a rival to 𝗕𝗫𝗥𝗠. And that's pretty much the icing on the cake. There's tons of pieces of evidence in favor that he is stronger than Frieza in his base form during the Buu Saga, and there's like one piece of evidence that he isn't. If I'm missing any piece of evidence, throw them in the comments and just fill me in. I'd love to hear you guys' arguments if you agree or don't. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you learned something today, leave a like, or possibly consider subscribing. Until then, my fellow birds, I'll see you next time. For everyone who have made it to the end of the video and walked with me on this journey, I thank you. You're an irreplaceable fan that I'd like to be a part of the main MajinBird family, and I implore you to join the Dragon Ball HQ Discord server in the description. Here I'd like to garner a core fan base of Dragon Ball fans where we can celebrate and discuss the miracle that is Dragon Ball. Thank you.